Am I the asshole? For telling my family the reason I stepped out while my sister gave birth. My sister asked me to be present for the birth of her first child. I'll call her May. May and I have a hot-cold type relationship, but she's still my sister and I love her, so of course I accepted, but let her know I get squeamish. May need to stay above the waist. May acted like she totally understood this at the time. Still, she would send me home birth videos, as that was also her goal. I told her I can't watch them because it disturbs me. I don't have kids or plan to have them, so I've never really felt the need to desensitive myself to this stuff. She wasn't deterred and at one point told me to grow up. Childbirth is natural. The time comes, it's just me, our mom and her team of midwives present. I'm holding one leg and our mom's holding the other. I'm hella uncomfortable but trying my best to support, encouraging May and telling her she's doing amazing, etc. But it gets the best of me. I feel like I'm about 2 seconds from hurling, and I excuse myself. I do come back into the bedroom but keep a bit of distance and cheer her on that way. Obviously she's busy pushing and we don't address me stepping away. May's 2 weeks postpartum. Me, our mom, 2 of our cousins and 2 aunts are visiting. All women with kids, excited to hear her birth story. May's happy to oblige. Then she gets to the part where she mentions that I dropped her leg and left while she was pushing. Mind you, she never brought this up to me. But in front of our family she was acting incredibly let down by me and what happened. May and one of our cousins was insinuating I was childish for not being able to tolerate it, like imagine if she actually had to be the one going through it, and I was like, yeah, I'm child-free for a reason. Their reaction made me feel really uncomfortable. May asks why couldn't you have just looked at the wall or something, and I finally just told her the reason I stepped into the other room was because she started pooping. I smelled it and saw it and just immediately felt like I was going to barf in an already intense situation. I said I would have felt like a bigger asshat if I threw up on her in that moment than if I just left to compose myself. May got embarrassed by me saying this and extremely mad. I understand, but I didn't say it in a mean way or to embarrass her. I just felt targeted and invalidated for having a human reaction, and like I had to defend myself. After May's blow up, one of my cousins said I shouldn't have told her she pooped. Another told me she understood I wasn't trying to be a bitch and that my sister's hormonal, she'll get over it. I promptly left. This was 3 days ago and haven't talked to May since. Our mom has asked me to apologize. I told her I'll apologize when May apologizes for putting me on blast and mocking me. At this point, I'm fine not talking to her because I want peace and I feel like this might be something she throws in my face. Am I the asshole? Not the asshole. You were there for most of it, although a poop is so not the worst of childbirth, but understand if it tipped you over the edge of gross. Also, your sister needs to get over herself and the baby was born safe and well. You dropping her leg didn't change that she was digging you out when you had supported her and it was unfair. Not the asshole. If your sister felt some type of way over you leaving the room, she should have shared that with you and not shame you in front of others when she never even spoke with you about it. She put you in the hot seat to have to defend yourself out of nowhere, and you being honest about what happened is why she ended up embarrassed. Quite frankly, she deserved to get embarrassed for being needlessly rude to someone trying to support her. Woman shrugging. It's still not clear to me why it's so important to your sister you watch intently as she tore her vag apart while she shat herself. Is this some fetish she can't confess to? Not the asshole. Not the asshole. Honestly, this thing that your whole family must be with you holding your legs while you scream to push a baby out and probably also shit yourself in the process is extremely cringe and vaguely unsettling. No, the world doesn't have to suffer because you're suffering. And giving birth is not some passively accepted duty. You bring it on yourself and the blame stays among the 2 that conceived the kid. You're not more special for it and everyone is entitled to just not wanting to deal with a single thing related to childbirth. Not the asshole. They wouldn't let up and you snapped. Nada. You're exactly right, it would have been much worse to vomit on her while she was giving birth than it was to excuse yourself. I don't think you have anything to apologize for. I know you couldn't pay me to be in a room with someone who was giving birth. No thanks. I too am child-free and everything to do with birth seems horrifying to me, so you're stronger than I am for making it as far as you did. The hormones are legit raging, so maybe give her some space and see if she comes around. I don't think you did anything wrong. Not the asshole. I'm also just heavily confused as to why your sister was expecting you to gaze at her in some kind of awe, potentially ripping herself in half, screaming and shitting. I feel like there's so many questions to be asked. A lot of women poop while giving birth. Did she watch the birth videos? If you don't find it beautiful, you just don't. No shame for that. Not the asshole. Your sister tried to throw you under the bus and you rightfully brought her down with you. She should definitely apologize to you for trying to make you look bad. Also, why is she upset about the pooping thing? From what I hear, it's actually quite common for this to happen during birth. I don't have a child, but I watch medical stuff. Not the asshole. She bullied you into helping her delivery and then tried to shame you in front of the whole family. You have the right to make your own decisions and to protect yourself from her harming you. Why the fuck does she need two people for support if it's such an easy, natural thing to do? She should be able to easily do it herself, so it's pretty ridiculous for her not to accept that you don't want to live in a horror movie splatter scene. Why is she mad that you said she pooped, if it's so normal? She expects support and kindness from all others and has none to give to others herself. Not the asshole. Where was the baby's father during all this? Why wasn't he doing any of the helping, encouraging, holding? And does May hold him to the same standards she holds up? Not the asshole. So, she'd have preferred you to stay there and barf. Not the asshole. Not the asshole. This is why one must communicate and make sure you don't have any misunderstandings before essentially gossiping. Don't push for answers you don't want to get. Birth is nothing wonderful. It's a dirty, bloody, smelly mess full with excrements and stuff. That's how it really is. Nobody talks about that. Nobody should care about that, as it is a natural thing. But also no one is forced to stay unless it's the midwife doc women giving birth. Not the asshole. Not the asshole. I got sick by just reading this story. Sis needs to stop. Not everyone wants to share the miracle of birth. I shouldn't be laughing. But alas. You probably should have avoided the whole being an active participant in the birth process thing. You're not the asshole, but don't put yourself in positions that make you sick, uncomfortable, if you can help it. Not the asshole. People don't get mad at men who pass out or step out cause they can't handle it like this. Why is OP when she's a woman? Tell her to grow up. Pooping is natural. Not the asshole. Natural does not equal pleasant or even neutral. So many natural processes are gross. And your sister clearly agrees because she got all embarrassed about pooping while giving birth. Not the asshole. And I think a lesson for the future is to avoid a situation like this altogether. Wait, she wants you to experience watching her birth a child and throws you under the bus for being grossed out by it, but then doesn't want you to explain why you were grossed out? Tell her to grow up and that it's normal to poop during birth. It's also normal to be grossed out by poop. You don't want kids. Why on earth should you be subjected to watching someone else have theirs? You can support someone without compromising your comfort. You offered to help her above the waist and she didn't want that. Childbirth is natural, sure, but so is vomit. I would just keep saying, did you want me to throw up on your new baby? Rinse and repeat until it seems like she finally gets it. Not the asshole. Imagine the story if you hadn't left. And then she vomited all over my belly and it ran down onto the baby's head. Then she had the temerity to faint. Your sister sounds controlling. Who in their right mind browbeats someone into watching them give birth?